Hi there, it's Will from Potato Strong. I thought I would do a video on how to get started on the Starch solution. This lifestyle really changed my life. It's unbelievable. Dr. John McDougall wrote this book, The Starch Solution, and it basically talks about how potatoes, rice, and beans should be the centerpiece of your diet and that they're incredibly healthy. If you think about it, there's billions of people around the world eating rice and vegetables and potatoes, sweet potatoes in South America and Asia and Africa, and they're not fat and they're super healthy. But for some reason, we've demonized all these types of foods because we add so much fat, sour cream, butter, all the animal products and oils, and we've just totally distorted our belief system on what is healthy. So I'm going to run through a couple of ways you can get started on the Starch solution. This is considered, basically a vegan diet, low fat, high carb, okay? No oil. There's a couple of ways you can do this. One would be kind of the baby potato method. You go transition into it. The other way is the Potato Strong method. This is what I did personally, is I went 100% all at once. And it's actually easier in a way because your taste buds change, from all the stuff that you're eating. But either way is acceptable. You got to be practical about this, and I try to provide, practical approaches and alternative methods. So, some things you want to get. You want to pick up potatoes. 10-pound bags I usually get. Yellow are my favorite. So some people in the States, they're Yukon Gold, or we call them, in Canada, there's a yellow fleshed. Those are great. There's red potatoes, white, russets, sweet potatoes. It doesn't really matter. They're super filling. That's why I called my site Potato Strong, because once I discovered the potatoes, they were just incredibly filling. And I love potatoes, and most people do. So knowing that you can eat these is just an amazing revelation and a joy. I've got all sorts of recipes on my website. You can make baked fries with these without the oil. You can have mashed potatoes without the milk and the butter. And it's really still super tasty. I've got a gravy recipe, ketchup you can use. There's scallop potatoes. There's just so many. You can quarter them, like steam them, and just have them baked. Like all the different ways that you can make potatoes are incredible. That's one of my main staples. There's other starches. So starches are chains of simple sugars, and so they fill you up for a long time as they break down. So you've also got beans, and I recommend for most people getting started, you don't want to overwhelm yourself with too many things that you're going to have to do, cooking beans dry and all that stuff. So these are kidney beans. It's a blue menu in Canada. There's no salt added. But do your best to try to avoid some of the sodium that's in a lot of canned foods. So you've got your main starches are going to be potatoes, rice, beans. You've got pasta and bread. So if you can, try to get the whole wheat pasta. And you want to be looking at, whenever you're buying packaged things, you want to be looking at the ingredients. Don't worry about what's on the front, because they'll say like low fat or no fat, but you got to look at the actual ingredients on the can. So as far as beans go, I like black beans. I've got a taco recipe where I fill the tacos with rice and beans and corn and salsa and diced tomatoes. It's really tasty. There's there's other things you can do with black beans. You can make burgers, bean burgers, or even with the kidney beans. I've got white kidney beans too. I make an Alfredo cream sauce for pasta. So make sure you check out the www.potatostrong.com for the recipes. I've also got an ebook with all the recipes if you want to have a convenient thing for your tablet or to print out. There's pasta, the amazing thing with the Starch solution is that you can just modify what you're normally eating. Most people are eating a standard American diet, and you can still have pasta, pizza, tacos, fries, and baked fries, and all the things that you like, burgers. And you just have to tweak them. What the main problem is, there's just so much cheese and oil and animal products that are high fat. That's the main thing. There's a lot of processed food that does have sugar, but they also usually have fat. If you look at crackers, chips, even all the desserts, cakes, there's so much fat in there. Pie shells, if you look at the pie crusts, I mean, it's everywhere. Fat is in there, there's sugars as well. But the fat is gonna have really high calorie. It's it's easy to store in your body, and it's just gonna pack on the calories that, you know, most of us don't burn off on a daily basis. I'm all about convenience on this and not getting overwhelmed, because once you start getting into healthy plant-based diet, you can worry about GMOs and organic and canned foods, BPA lining in the cans, and there's all these things that people worry about. But there's just a basic way to get going would be, there's frozen vegetables, peas, corn, broccoli. Now I know, like, as myself, when I started, I didn't really like vegetables that much. I mean, I like the basics, corn and peas, but not a lot of other ones. Onions are fine and stuff like that, but you don't want to add too many crazy things at first. There's a transition you can take. So the great thing about the starches is that, you know, people love the beans and the rice and the potatoes and pastas and breads and stuff like that. As far as sauces go, same thing goes with the cans. You want to get, what I do is I use crushed tomatoes. So I stopped buying the pasta sauces because there's so much oil and sugar in there. I just buy a crushed tomato. It's basically like tomato sauce. And then I add all sorts of things to it. I fry up some onion, green pepper. I throw chopped spinach in there. A whole bunch of Italian spice like oregano, parsley. And it's so tasty. Garlic, you know, whatever you like. And you don't have to worry there's no oils or sugars added to the sauce. And like I say, I've got recipes for all that. Ketchup you can make your own, but like I say, there's just so many things that you have to get into when you first start. So I try to get like a low sodium version. I'm not super worried about sodium, but you know, it's not much different just to get a lower sodium version or low sodium. You definitely want to get into eating your greens. So, but I know people, you know, it's going to be a transition to some of the more challenging or some of the more healthy things like kale. You know, some people, you know, it takes a bit of time to get into that. It's a firmer, and it's, you know, it's a more it's a stronger taste, and so you can start with romaine and iceberg. You might like spinach. Some people like it right off the bat. Most people. Kale might be an acquired taste for some, but you could have iceberg or romaine, and you could try spinach as well. I buy these packages of washed organic spinach, and it's just easy. You just throw spinach and kale and things like that into sauces and soups to get your veggies in. Some people put them in a smoothie. They blend it up as well. For salads, I use this balsamic vinegar. It's a delicate flavor. This is President's Choice in Canada. Some people can get access to flavored balsamic vinegar, so you might want to check that out. But I put that on my salads. There's also a thing called 3-2-1 dressing from Jane Esselstyn, I think it is. It's 3 parts balsamic vinegar, 2 parts mustard, like you can use Dijon or French, and 1 part maple syrup. I don't do a lot of maple syrup, but you want to get the 100% pure maple syrup. There's this other syrup that's manufactured with high fructose corn syrup, and it's just a fake syrup product. So you want to make sure that you use that if you're going to do that. But I kind of like the balsamic vinegar. You just don't, when you're frying up veggies, like say you want to make a sauce or stir fry, and you want to put, you normally have onions and green peppers and whatever veggies in there. You want to do it without oil. So that's one thing that people ask about. How do I do that? You just put a little bit of water in the bottom of a skillet, and you heat that up, and chop up the veggies and put that in there. And like usually green pepper, and that takes longer, so I start with that, and then I add the onions. And I usually cover the pan. and so you're sort of steaming it as well. See, at the end of the day, all you want to do is soften the veggies that you're frying, and so you don't really need the oil, and it just adds a lot of calories. I used to use sun-dried tomatoes in oil, and I'd pour the oil because it had a nice flavor into the sauce. It just got out of control. So I find it's best to just completely cut that out. As far as non-stick type stuff goes, you want to get non-stick skillets, but like the water helps. When you're baking, I've got this Silpat sheet. It's a bit dirty. I made some stuff yesterday. It's a Silpat silicone sheet. It's no stick. You just put that right on your baking tray, and I bake fries on this all the time. You can also use parchment paper. But I was going through the parchment paper. I'd reuse it, but I was going through it. So this is a reusable silicone sheet that I got on Amazon. So there's the non-stick aspect, because you're going to be baking and doing things without oil. If you're doing muffins, you could do like there's these muffin paper inserts, or you can get a non-stick sheet. Make sure you do that. So I highly advocate using frozen fruit, frozen veggies. Like I've got green beans, peas, broccoli, cauliflower, all that stuff. You don't have to do all those veggies. Just you can kind of gradually add more veggies to your diet. I've been eating way more veggies, stir fries with edamame, which is like a soybean. I've been putting cabbage. It's just crazy. Like I never really was into that. Another thing is to make the stir fries and veggies more palatable. Like I say, you can add them to sauces, but also what I do is I use a sweet Thai chili sauce. Now there's some sugar in there, but it's just, the other thing is the sriracha sauce, and some of that stuff you have to watch the sodium. But the thing is that and also you can fry up veggies and stuff like that in a veggie broth. You can use vegetable broth, or you can add the vegetable stock powder. I've got gravy recipes on my website, and it's basically a flour and water with some browning sauce. I've also got a white, like a bean gravy base, and you can put other types of flours in there too, and you can even use cornstarch. So there's like if you have gluten issues and stuff like that. So if you stick to the starches and some of the frozen vegetables, it's incredibly cheap. The canned beans, and it's really quick. You can just get home, chop up some potatoes. I don't even peel them. So when I make mashed potatoes and baked fries, I don't peel them. So I just cut them up, throw them on the tray, and bake them in half an hour. So you just put them in the oven, go back, go on the computer or whatever, and half an hour later you're good to go. So it's not really. There's some misconceptions out there about expensive, how it is, and how complicated and the recipes are. I've come up with a number of fairly simple recipes that I've got on the website, and I hope you guys check that out. But you can also tailor your own. If you've got some kind of some meals that you like, you can just tailor them. So there's things like removing the oil from frying anything, baking things instead of like deep frying and stuff like that. If you want to replace things, I don't do a lot of baking, but there's all sorts of egg replacements. Like there's you use ground flaxseed in water. It's like an egg replacer. You can use applesauce, ripe bananas mashed, and apples and different things like that, and it actually replaces the oils, the butters, maple syrup, things like that can be used to give a really moist product. So there's so many things you can do. It's really exciting to focus on all the tasty foods that you're going to be able to eat. I'm just blown away, and it's just so amazing. And so I hope this kind of gives you a good start. If you want to go gradual and you've got people in your house, you could separate some things. If you want to eat more plant-based starch solution, you can sort of have different things in your cupboard and put some other things for people that are eating meat and stuff in the other cupboards or sections of your fridge. If you want to go 100%, what I did was I either threw out the food, because I didn't really want it. Once I knew the food wasn't that healthy, I didn't really want to give it to other people. But some of the food we donated to charity, and some of it we just got rid of. Because once you open your eyes and you see this, you don't really want to eat it anymore. And even if I should just finish this or finish that. But if you want to go that way, when I was vegetarian, I basically was like 10 years or more doing vegetarian. I just couldn't get away from it because I kept eating the cheese and the oil and chips and dip and stuff like that. And so for me, what worked better was to go 100%. But if you have a plan, you can sort of transition and add more foods. All you have to do is start eating a certain meal. If you had eggs and bacon in the morning, you can have oatmeal. I didn't mention the rolled oats. I buy rolled oats, so don't get the instant oats, but you want to get rolled oats. You can get steel cut, even quick oats, but I use rolled oats. And there's different ways to cook it, but it's really easy in the morning. You can microwave it for 5 minutes with some water, like 2 cups of water, 1 cup of oats, and you can add fruit, or you can cook it on the stove, and you can have pancakes, cereal. Even there's a whole bunch of cereals that are McDougall approved starch solution. So you can still eat with non-dairy milks like almond milk. There's so many non-dairy milks now: almond, soy, rice milk, hazelnut. I make this banana milk. I just blend a banana with some cold water. So I hope that helps you guys get started who are thinking about it. I really encourage everyone who's eating animal products and have a problem with their weight, getting off the medications, getting healthy, helping the animals in the environment, to go to a starch-based diet. It's amazing. It's been incredible. I'm 45 and I never felt better. And it's just such a tasty meal, a bunch of meals that I eat now, and I don't miss anything that I used to eat. So that's the key. So good luck, and post your comments and questions in the comments section here, and feel free to ask questions. And don't forget to check out the Instagram, sign up for the quick start guide there in the description, and check out the recipes on www.potatostrong and also on facebook.com/potatostrong, and join the community, because the community provides a lot of support, even for myself, even though I'm helping people, seeing what all these people that are eating the same types of foods, and really encouraging each other. And when you get, make sure you take some before pictures, because you're going to lose a lot of fat and get healthy, and maybe try to get your records, your blood tests and things like that. And because you're going to see amazing results, and you're going to want to have those before and after. So good luck. Let me know how it goes, guys. See you later.